Here on Metal Music Meltdown, back with another video. Whatever today, guys, is next installment of my top 10 albums of each year. We're up to 2011, so we're making our way through, getting closer and closer to the present time. If you're new to the channel, what I've been doing is I've been picking my favorite albums from starting back in 1970 and working my way through the years chronologically until I hit the present time. And yep, we're into 2011, guys, so let's jump right in. Pretty solid year for albums. One or two standard albums for me, and then the rest were kind of like just really good, but wasn't a crazy year for albums, but a lot of solid material nonetheless. So at number 10, I have the second full-length album from Sylosis called Edge of the Earth. Really solid album from these guys, one of my favorite bands of the newer generation. Mix of like thrash, melodic death metal, progressive elements mixed in there. Really good album, killer artwork on this one as well. And not one of my favorites from their catalog, to be honest. Still good enough to be in my list. Really good album. Number 9, I went with the debut album from Pursuit of Honor from Battlecross. Much lesser known band. They are on Metal Blade Record, but they only put out 3 albums, and they're all really, really good in my opinion. They're a mix of thrash metal and melodic death metal. Really good stuff. Get your head banging every time. I saw them live at Mayhem Fest one year back in the day, and they're just really, really good. Like I said, this is their full studio album debut. Really solid stuff, super heavy. And if you're not familiar with these guys, definitely check them out. At number 8, I went with Hymn of a Broken Man by the band Times of Grace. This is a kind of a side project of some guys that came from all of Killswitch Engage. Pretty solid album. It's definitely metalcore, alternative metal kind of mixed in. Great vocals on just really memorable songs. For example, Strength in Numbers, Fight for Life, Hymn of a Broken Man. The title track is really, really good. Good band live too. I saw them at Heavy TO. Actually, I think it was in 2011. Really good live band as well. And yeah, just a really good album. I think they only put out one other album in like 10 years later in 2021. I haven't really heard that album, but the debut was killer and I really like it. I still listen to it from time to time. It's really good. Number 7, I went with Anthrax, Worship Music. I'm not the biggest Anthrax fan. I like the first 3 albums the best. And then there's 2 or 3 at the later. The last like 2 or 3 albums they put out, I think, are really good. They got back to like this straightforward thrash, in your face metal. The middle period was a little too goofy for me. I didn't like the sound as much. I kind of lost interest in Anthrax in the middle. But there are a couple newer albums are really solid, and their all early material is really good. So I put Worship Music on here because I went back to the thrash sound that I really like from these guys. Number 6 might be controversial. It's In Flames, Sounds of a Playground Fading. I love this album. I don't give a shit. A lot of people really shut on In Flames during this era, saying they sold out, they're not metal anymore. I don't give a shit. I think it sounds great. It's more on the alternative side, alternative metal, whatever you want to call it. But I think the vocals are good. It's still heavy. Still has really memorable songs, great guitar riffs. When I look at the song listings here, the Sounds of a Playground Fading was a really good song. Deliver Us is really good. Ropes is really good. Liberation. Just some really good songs on this album. Like, I don't understand why people don't like it, but I think it's pretty solid. I like it. I like all their eras of In Flames. Love all their stuff. Number 5, I went with Machine Head, Unto the Locust. Really solid band album from these guys. This is a band that's really hit and miss with me. I really love their album or I hate them. But this is one that's really solid. I really enjoy it. I think The Blackening is their best album by far in my opinion, but this is a really solid album. I go back to it pretty often still with songs like the Sentinel, Judas Priest cover was really good actually. Locust was really good song on this one. And This Is In The End was good. Just a solid album top to bottom. I like the sound of this album much better than some of their others. Number 4, I went with The Hunter by Mastodon. Most of Mastodon's material is really solid. This is definitely lower on their catalog for me, but with Black Tongue, The Hunter, Curl and Burl, just some really good tunes on here still. Classic Mastodon sound, progressive but heavy, distorted guitar riffs, and just a solid album still nonetheless. Number 3, I went with Mighty Opeth, my favorite band, but Heritage. Solid album. On the ranking of the albums for Opeth, I think this did rank near the bottom, if not the bottom. But, a crappy Opeth album is still killer in my opinion. Really solid stuff on here. This was their transition into being more of just a straightforward progressive rock band. I still prefer the cat's in this video here. I still prefer their middle period overall, but really solid stuff on this album still. Standout tracks. The Devil's Orchid was really good. Slither was a cool kind of 70s rock sounding song. Folklore was really good too. Some really solid stuff on this. Definitely check it out. Don't dismiss the later period Opeth that's more progressive rock. You'll still really dig it. It's really good. Number 2, I went with the Mighty Warbringer and their third album, Worlds Turn Asunder. Just some balls out thrash metal. Love these guys. Every album's a banger. Just if you want to listen to good new generation thrash, this is one band I always recommend. All the stuff is really good. Not a weak song on the album. And cool Sacrifice Bathory cover on this one too. I think they did a really good job on that one. But some really good songs on this one. Definitely check it out. And then number 1, I went with Havoc, Time Is Up. Love these guys. These guys in Warbringer were kind of the front runners in the new wave of traditional thrash metal sound. But I think I like Havoc a little bit more overall. I just love their sound. I think the good vocalist is one of the best vocalists in all of time thrash. I think he has the perfect kind of voice for it. It's aggressive and gruffy, but you can still understand what he's saying. Pronunciation is still there with Prepare for Attack, Fatal Intervention, No Amnesty, DOA, Covering Fire. So many good songs on this album. The title track, love this album. Definitely a high rotation album for me, and one of my favorites from their discography, if not my favorite. I think it might have ranked number 1 if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, that's my number 1, guys. Let me know down below what your top 10 of 2011 would be. Pretty solid year for albums, but nothing too over the top in terms of like a 10 out of 10. Havoc's pretty close to a 10 out of 10 album for me. It's really good. I like that album a lot. But yeah, solid year nonetheless. Let me know down below, guys, what you would pick for 2011. And until next time, guys, keep it metal.